This is the American Memorial Library in Berlin. Why are we here? It's a long story, and I have to start from the beginning. We are looking at the canal on Hofbrettbrücke on a Sunday. I have lived in this neighborhood for about 2.5 years. This is my second neighborhood ever since I moved to Berlin from Macau almost 5 years ago. It feels like an eternity. I have seen so many strange things here, but that's another story for another time. This story starts with streets. Streets are public spaces. They are one of our biggest assets in creating good social infrastructure, which is the physical shared environment that fosters meaningful social bonds. I should put it this way. Meaningful social bonds cannot be formed without a physical shared environment. And that's what social infrastructure is. On the street, Brückner Straße, there are several benches on the sidewalk. There used to be more. Something as simple as benches allow people to sit together, to have a drink after getting something from the Späti, or just to hang out. And that's essentially how positive social bonds are formed, by spending a good time together in the same place. We are now in my first neighborhood in Berlin, Greve-Kiez. There are quite a number of cafes here, and they all have outdoor seating, which is another use of public space. Cafes are another form of social infrastructure. However, the outdoor seating is in a bit of a gray area, because this is using public space for a commercial purpose. Well, as long as the seating does not cause choke points on the sidewalk, it's fine. Parks and playgrounds are, of course, also social infrastructure. These are locations where not only children but also their parents can meet each other and even make new friends. I, as an adult person, go to parks with my friends to have picnics too. It's just nice to be surrounded by greeneries. Making public spaces pleasant and welcoming is a key to attract people to go there. One way is to incorporate the natural environment in the urban environment. Access or even just a view of the natural environment gives people positive distraction and some relief from the stress of daily life. We are now in the vicinity of Vivantes Urban, a hospital in my current neighborhood. Patients from this hospital can leave the hospital building to have some sense of normality in the park with a view of the canal with the visitors. At this point, I believe you understand that social infrastructure can be outdoor, indoor, free, commercial, public, private, built, and/or natural. It is, at its core, just anywhere people can spend quality time together. There is no doubt that everyone needs social contact and everyone needs social space, yet not everyone can afford to be a patron of commercial outlets with a pleasant atmosphere. Good public space, hence, is a critical setting for a truly inclusive society. That is why I am fascinated by what people do to develop and sustain social bonds, and the role urban planning, urban design, and architecture play. Particularly, my interest is in the public library. The public library is open to everyone, free of charge and judgment. These two qualities are what I seek in a good social infrastructure. And oh, here we are at the American Memorial Library. Public libraries in Berlin were closed for a while due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Before the pandemic, I used to go to this library 3 to 4 days a week to work on my own tasks and observe human behaviors meanwhile. It was fun. I watch users of the library because it is a part of my research on social infrastructure. Another reason I go to the library is that I have always had good memories in a library. When I was a child, my grandmother always brought me to this public library in Macau, which is in a park. I remember that feeling. It felt like my heart fluttered for the first time. It was joy, and I still feel the same every time I go to a library, no matter where I live. I am so in love with public libraries that I am now doing my PhD research on them. That is my love letter to libraries and the library community.